The story begins with a girl who is being brutally bullied. She is covered in blood and, through tears, begs them to stop hurting her. She says, "I already gave you all my lunch money. Please, just let me go." The female bully mocks her and asks, "What, are you completely broke now?" Then she says, "If you don't have money, you'll have to pay in some other way." Since she is supposedly in a good mood that day, she tells the girl to put on a show for them. She throws a piece of bread onto the ground and orders her, "Pick it up and eat it." She forces her to eat the bread in such a humiliating way that the girl starts crying and refuses. The bully laughs sarcastically. Then she grabs the girl's hair, lifts her head up, and says, "Raise your head and stop pretending to be obedient." After that, the bully says, "If you won't eat the bread, then you'll have to bark like a dog. And if your barking is good enough, we'll let you go." Another bully adds, "And if you don't do it, remember that Zhang Kai is waiting for you." The bullies take out their phones and start recording her. Everyone is laughing loudly, and the poor girl is forced to bark like a dog. Gradually, other students from the school begin gathering around. Some are just watching, while others are recording videos on their phones. A week later, the girl dies. She had been stepped on more than 100 times. When the news reaches her brother, his face instantly turns pale. His eyes burn with anger and pain. He stands in front of his sister's body at the morgue. It is revealed that her brother was once a notorious gang leader. People were afraid of him. They avoided him. But in his sister's eyes, he was the best brother in the world. For her sake, he had left the underworld behind. He dissolved his gang and started living a normal life. But now, only one thing remains in his heart: revenge. He swears that everyone who played a role in causing his sister's death will be forced to pay the ultimate price. After that, the brother goes to find his sister's closest friend so he can learn the truth. He assures the girl that he knows she wasn't involved in any of this. He simply says, "Just write down the names of the 4 people who bullied my sister." The girl writes the names on a piece of paper and hands it to him. The brother asks, "Do you know exactly what happened to my sister?" The girl explains that Zhang Kai and his gang had been tormenting Chen Lian for a long time. They stole her lunch money every day, which often left her hungry. The girl also reveals that they forced Chen Lian to come to their houses and do cooking and cleaning for them. Then she hints that Zhang Kai had done something even worse to her. She explains that a few days earlier, when Chen Lian failed to bring money for them, they threw her to the ground and beat her brutally. They forced her to kneel in front of everyone and bark like a dog. The entire school watched. People laughed. Some students recorded videos of her. That day, Chen Lian was completely humiliated in front of everyone. After hearing all of this, the brother falls completely silent. But beneath that silence, nothing but pure rage is burning inside him. Just then, a school counselor comes to meet him and starts talking about a settlement. She says that the school is presenting the incident as an accident. The moment he hears that, the brother explodes with anger. He shouts, "My sister was stepped on more than 100 times, and you're calling it an accident?" He asks, "Have the school officials gone blind?" The counselor responds in a calm yet provoking tone, saying that the decision wasn't hers. Then she hands him the settlement terms offered by the bully's parents. The settlement includes compensation of 200,000. The counselor warns him not to create a bigger scene, otherwise the consequences won't be good for him. The brother smirks sarcastically. Then he crumples the settlement paper and throws it straight at the counselor's face. He says, "My sister is dead. Go negotiate with her in hell." The counselor angrily asks, "How dare you touch me?" Then, while downplaying Chen Lan's death, she says, "She's just a dead girl. It's not that big of a deal." And then, the counselor shamelessly admits that she knew everything. She knew that Chen Lan had been bullied for an entire year. The worst part is that she says she deliberately ignored everything. The moment he hears this, the brother's patience completely runs out. He immediately shuts her up. With a hard slap across the face, he hits her so forcefully that she falls straight to the floor. She screams at him and starts shouting. In a deadly calm voice, the brother tells her that all of them have reached their end. Then he grabs her by the neck. She is completely shocked and asks how he dared to do this. The counselor completely breaks down and starts crying. The brother leaves her slumped on the floor in the corner of the room and walks away. At home, his father scolds him, saying that he is being reckless and escalating things. Anxiously, his father wonders what will happen to him now. While lighting a cigarette, the son calmly responds. He reassures his father that the counselor won't dare call the police, because what happened can easily be passed off as a mutual fight. And if an investigation takes place, the counselor will most likely lose her job. Then he calmly orders his dad to dump her at the entrance of a residential complex and call an ambulance so it can pick her up. He warns him to stay completely out of the picture so the family won't end up paying the ambulance bill. The next morning, his mother tries to comfort him. She tells him to forget the past. Crying, she adds that the living have to move on with their lives. Suddenly, a text message arrives on his late sister's phone. The message comes from a group chat called Chen-Lon Has No Secrets. The moment the brother sees the text, his expression completely changes. He discovers that the messages contain videos documenting the bullying and abuse his sister suffered. In one of the videos, the main bully Zhang appears and shamelessly comments on her looks. Then, with an evil smile, he says that it's finally his turn. The girl begs him to stop, but he moves closer and tells her not to run away. Then he invites her to give him a hug. In a later scene, we see the brother completely burn off his fingerprints so that no evidence remains and no one can connect him to his upcoming crimes. His eyes are filled with ruthless vengeance. He goes to a luxury nightclub where one of his targets is relaxing. To hide his identity, he wears a mask. Then he pulls out a sharp knife. Disguised as a waiter, he slips into the club. Inside one room, one of the bullies, Wang Qing, is enjoying himself with several women. The brother advances toward the room. As soon as he steps inside, Wang Qing yells at him and asks who ordered the drinks. Then he orders him to get out immediately. But the brother delivers a powerful kick to him. Then he rushes at him with the knife. The bully crashes onto the floor. He is severely wounded. The women scream in terror and try to run away. But they quickly realize that the door has been locked from the outside. The brother orders them to stand aside and watch in silence. He threatens that if any one of them makes a single sound, he will kill them. Terrified, they cover their mouths. Wang Qing asks him who he is. He claims that there is no bad blood between them and asks why he is being targeted. Then he offers him cash to spare his life. The brother mockingly asks whether he ever thought this day would come while he was tormenting his sister. The bully tries to dodge responsibility. He claims that he had nothing to do with any of it and that Zhang Kai is the one truly responsible. The brother asks him where Zhang Kai is. The bully tells him that they are celebrating Wang Yuang's birthday in room 605. After getting the information he wanted, the brother slashes Wang Qing's throat and executes him. Then he leaves the place. In another room, the female bully Gao is feeling bored. She suggests to her friend that they should invite more people because having bodyguards around makes everything boring. The other girl replies that her dad was the one who insisted on keeping the guards. Then she blames the victim, Chen-Lon. She calls her that dead girl and adds that even after dying, she is still causing trouble for them. Gao agrees and says that the victim was completely useless even when she was alive. The bully continues mocking her. She says that the victim hasn't changed even after death. Then she expresses regret that she didn't step on her a few more times. At that exact moment, the brother appears at the doorway. Wearing a mask, his eyes are filled with cold vengeance. One of the female bullies asks him who he is. The brother storms into the room and starts fighting the bodyguards. He overpowers them one by one. During the fight, he slashes one of the main female bully's fingers. The girl screams in absolute agony and angrily orders her guards to kill him. Her friend joins in, screaming and demanding that they kill him. The brother continues fighting. The other bully, Gao, tries to escape, but he catches her and brutally assaults her. However, the sheer number of guards eventually overwhelms him. One of the guards threatens that he will pay the price for this. The brother lets out a crazy laugh and challenges them. "Go ahead," he says. "Kill me." Then he tells them that if they don't kill him, their own families will be in serious danger. The police arrive at the scene and take control of the situation. In the interrogation room, a female officer asks him why he was carrying weapons. He calmly denies that he brought any weapon with him. Calmly, he claims that he was simply passing by the area. The officer asks him about the knife that was found in his possession. He immediately comes up with a story, claiming that his mother had asked him to buy a knife for cooking, and he insists that he still has the receipt. The officer points out that the receipt is dated from the previous day and tells him not to insult their intelligence. He keeps making excuses, claiming that he intended to apply for a job there, and when he arrived, he overheard them badmouthing his sister. That's why he simply lost control. Another officer enters the room and tells him that they know about his tragedy, but that does not justify a crime. He informs him that he broke 2 of Wang Yuhong's fingers, and that charge is considered a minor injury. The brother mockingly asks if he's absolutely sure it was him. He asks whether there is any actual evidence, such as CCTV footage or fingerprints. Due to a lack of evidence, the police are forced to release him. As he walks out, His father confronts him and scolds him. He asks why he didn't leave the matter to him and his mother, and whether he had even thought about the consequences. The son coldly responds that he no longer cares about the consequences and tells his father to stay out of this matter. Outside, the bully girl and her father are waiting. She points at him and tells her father that this is the person who attacked her and broke her finger. Her father, a massive and powerful man, steps forward and threatens the brother's father. Trying to reason with them, the father stands his ground to protect his son. The man introduces himself as Wang Hongli, the chairman of Hongqin Group. He asks the father if he has ever heard his name before. The father is completely shocked after hearing it. It turns out that Hongqi Group is a massive corporation with a notorious reputation, and its criminal history even includes murder. Even so, the police have never been able to prove anything against them for years because Wang Hongli always makes sure all the evidence disappears. The scene shifts back to the police station, where the father is panicking after realizing the identity of his opponent. In another room, a female officer interrogates the brother once again. She asks whether he visited any other club that day. She advises him to think very carefully before answering and offers him a deal, saying that if he confesses, his sentence could be reduced. The brother denies ever going there. The officer hands him a case file containing photos of Wang Qing's corpse. She tells him that a murder took place in that club and that Wang Qing was the victim. She explains that he had been stabbed multiple times. Then she confronts him directly and asks whether he really dares to deny his involvement. In another interrogation room, the main bully girl is informed about the murder of her partner, Wang Qing. She is completely shocked. The bully screams at the officer and insists that the brother is the killer. She points to her injured finger and explains that she has just received treatment at the hospital. Then she demands that he be arrested immediately. The brother ignores her and tells the officer that if there's nothing else, he will leave because he needs to arrange his sister's funeral. Because of insufficient evidence, the officer is forced to let him go. However, she reminds him to cooperate with the investigation and to appear whenever he is summoned. Back at home, the bully collapses out of fear. She is completely convinced that the brother is the executioner. She tells her father that if the guards hadn't been there, she would already be dead. Her father scolds her and orders her to shut up. He reminds her that she brought this mess upon herself. He adds that he repeatedly warned her about the consequences of her actions, but she never listened. The father begins digging into the brother's background. He feels that things are not as simple as they appear. While advising his daughter to be careful, he asks for more information about the brother's past. His assistant explains that the brother does not come from an influential background, but his past is frightening. He spent his high school years in another province and never returned during that entire period. The institution where he studied had a brutal system and a terrible reputation. Violence was constant there. But within just 3 months, the brother managed to dominate every student there. Then he spent another year subduing all the gangs in the surrounding area. He caused an enormous amount of trouble. A trail of severely injured victims was left behind him. And even though everyone knew he was responsible, the police were never able to find any evidence against him. The father finally realizes the gravity of the situation. He understands that his opponent is no ordinary person. Back at home, the brother kneels before his parents. He apologizes to them. He promises that even if he has to run away, he will still secure their financial future. His mother tries to stop him from continuing down this path. But he tells her that he can no longer back down. He firmly states that once he finishes what he started, he will turn himself in to the police. His father understands his decision. He says that he will not stand in his way. He only hopes that everything will have a good ending. Then the father and mother decide that after finishing their daughter's funeral arrangements, they will leave the city so they cannot be used as leverage against their son. The son thanks them for their understanding. The next day, the female officer meets him again and tries to talk to him. He coldly asks what she wants to discuss. She tells him that she is only 3 years older than him and feels that they have quite a lot in common. Sympathizing with the tragedy of his sister, she admits that she also wants to catch the people responsible. But she emphasizes that respecting the law is absolutely necessary. The brother snaps in anger. He shouts in her face that his sister is dead. He questions what the point of the law is if it only protects criminals. He tells her that if she only came here to lecture him with nonsense, then she should leave. She tries to calm him down. Then she asks why he refused the financial compensation. She tells him that Zheng Kai's family has offered 2 million as a settlement. She warns him that if he keeps escalating things, he may end up with nothing in the end. She suggests that he use the money to take care of his parents. The brother rejects her offer with a smirk and walks away. The officer leaves completely puzzled. Meanwhile, the bully's parents gather together. Zhang Zhongshan, Zhang Kai's father, expresses his surprise that the girl's brother rejected the money. He wonders if 2 million wasn't enough to tempt him. Fan Long, Feng Yu's father, angrily replies that if he doesn't want the money, then they should just wait and see who loses in the end. He suggests using that money for bribes and seeing how things turn out. Zhang Zhongshan explains that money isn't the problem. The problem is that the brother is after blood and wants to kill their children. Fan wonders what options they have left now. Then he makes light of the situation. He sees the brother as nothing more than a reckless young punk. He assures everyone that he has already hired bodyguards and professional hitmen, and they are simply waiting for his signal to eliminate the brother. The parents transfer the money to Fan Long to fund the operation. Zhang Zhongshan puts Fan Long in charge of the entire operation. He says that now he will simply wait for good news. The brother returns home and holds his sister's photo in his hands. Tears fill his eyes. Suddenly, a group of armed men led by a blond man breaks into his house. The blond man asks if he is Chamu. Then he says that they came to talk. He adds that surely he already knows who sent them. He explains that they have only one goal, to send him to the hospital. But he offers him a deal. If he promises to drop his sister's case, they will leave him alone. Chamu doesn't say a single word. He immediately attacks them. The blond man is stunned by his speed and ferocity. His men quickly realize that this isn't a normal fight. This is an attempted killing. After a short fight, the blond man falls to the ground wounded. The brother tells him that he won't kill him because he has nothing to do with his sister's death. He advises him to go to the hospital if he wants to stay alive. Then he says, "Tell whoever sent you that nobody can stop me." The attackers quickly leave, carrying their wounded leader with them. At the hospital, a doctor tells the blond man that he was lucky. If the knife wound had been just a few centimeters deeper, nobody would have been able to save him. The blond man opens his eyes and sees one of Fan Long's men standing beside him. The man hands him a card containing his payment. He warns him not to reveal anything about Fan Long. Otherwise, he already knows what the consequences will be. Then he tells him to stay away from this case. Elsewhere, the parents learn that the mission has failed. One of them suggests exposing the matter since the brother stabbed the blond man. Fan Long strongly rejects the idea. He explains that if the truth comes out, he will also get dragged into it, and the blond man could be charged with armed robbery. That would make the brother's actions look like pure self-defense. Fan Long decides to move forward with his plan. He completely ignores his opponent's strength. He insists that he will make sure the brother's family has nothing left in the end. Then he suggests sending their children abroad and keeping them hidden until the problem is solved. Meanwhile, the brother receives a call from one of his former men. He meets him in an alley and asks whether he brought the stuff he requested. The man hands him a black bag and confirms that it contains exactly what he asked for. He asks why he needs it, especially when he used to hate this kind of thing in the past. The brother angrily replies that he doesn't need to justify his actions. The man apologizes. He explains that he was only curious and then reaffirms his loyalty to him. The brother tells him that his sister was killed by her classmates. The man is shocked and offers his help. He suggests that they can handle the revenge on the brother's behalf. But the brother rejects the offer. He insists that this is something he will do himself. Chamu takes the black bag from him. Then he orders them not to interfere in this matter and to mind their own business. After that, the brother heads to Hongqin Group. There, in the bathroom, he overhears two employees talking about Chairman Wang Hongli's daughter and all the trouble she has caused. One of them says that whatever happened to her, she deserved it. The brother suddenly attacks them. He knocks one employee unconscious. Then he takes his key card and puts on a mask. Using the stolen card, he enters the company building and bypasses security. He secretly sneaks into Wang Hongli's office. Then he plants the black bag, which contains illegal contraband, inside one of the desk drawers. The brother waits outside at a public phone booth. Then he calls Wang Hongli and tells him that there is a gift waiting for him in the third drawer of his desk. Wang Hongli asks, "Is that you, Chamu?" The brother immediately hangs up. Wang Hongli screams in anger. He sees the brother as nothing more than a punk he has no reason to fear. Wang Hongli opens the drawer, but the moment he sees a bag filled with drugs inside, he falls into shock and panic. He immediately rushes toward the bathroom to flush the evidence away. But before he can get there, the police raid his office. The police catch him red-handed. An officer confirms that he was caught in possession of illegal substances and informs him of his right to remain silent. Later, the brother meets Gang Hui at a bar. Gang Hui is a top executive at Hongqi Group who wants to remove Wang Hongli and take his place. The brother asks about Wang Hongli's current status in custody. Gang Hui explains that he is very smart. He is refusing to confess to anything and is waiting for his lawyer. The brother demands that they speed up their plan. He stresses that he wants results by tomorrow. Gang Hui agrees. He praises the brother's brilliance and suggests working together more in the future. But Chamu responds with obvious disdain. He says that Gang Hui is not on his level. Gang Hui leaves an envelope for the brother. Inside is the address and phone number of Wang Hongli's hideout. After reading the paper, Chamu burns it. Then he gets on his motorcycle and heads toward a luxury villa. His goal is to put an end to Wang Yuhong's spoiled life. Inside her room, Wang Yuhong is furious about being confined. She curses the victim, Chen Lan, because all of this trouble happened because of her. She vows to take slow revenge on Chen Lan's brother. She demands that her guard let her go outside. But the guards refuse. They remind her that her father gave strict orders that she would remain grounded for an entire month. Half an hour later, Chamu starts a fire in one section of the villa to distract the guards. Wang Yuhong screams that there's a fire. The guards rush off to put it out. Wang Yuhong suddenly gets a bad feeling. Taking advantage of the chaos, the brother slips into the villa through the back door. One of the guards spots him and asks who he is. Wearing a mask, the brother continues advancing through the Wang family villa. A guard confronts him. But the brother confidently steps forward. The guards surround him. They ask who he is and whether he knows where he is standing. Using his skill and speed, the brother defeats every guard. They all collapse to the ground. After that, he storms deeper into the villa and finds Wang Yuhong. He beats her so badly that she blacks out. Then he throws her over his shoulder and carries her outside. He puts her on his motorcycle and speeds away. Inside the villa, the remaining guards inform Wang Yuhong's mother, Chazhua, that her daughter has been kidnapped. Trying to justify their failure, they explain that the attacker was insanely fast. Chazhua snaps and calls them completely useless. Then she orders them to hunt down the kidnapper. She swears that he will pay the price for this. The brother takes Wang Yuhong to a remote location. When she wakes up, he tells her that this is the same place where he and his sister used to play as children. She arrogantly asks what he wants. She threatens him and demands that he let her go. Then she offers him money. In response, the brother slaps her brutally. She screams in pain and begs for help. The brother coldly asks if just one slap hurts that much. Then he reminds her that his sister was stepped on more than 100 times. Grabbing her by the hair, he asks why they hated his sister so much. She shamelessly replies that it was all just for fun. She says she didn't like the arrogant look on his sister's face. The brother becomes furious. He wonders how anyone could torture and kill his sister for such a trivial reason. The girl starts crying in pure terror. In a desperate attempt to save her life, she claims that Zheng Kai was the one who delivered the final blows. She adds that his sister kept fighting back. She kept saying that her brother would return soon and protect her. But Zheng Kai, the mastermind behind everything, showed no mercy. She begs the brother to let her go. The brother raises his sword. He vows to send every devil involved in this straight to hell. But then he calmly says that killing her so easily would be far too light a punishment. Then he asks where the other bullies are. She claims that their parents have hidden them and that she doesn't know where they are. The brother doesn't believe her. He throws her into a cellar filled with rats and insects. He promises that the darkest days of her life are about to begin. Then he locks the door. At the detention center, Wang Hongli meets with his lawyer. The lawyer tells him that the situation looks very bad. Wang Hongli shouts that Chamu set him up. The lawyer confirms that it is obvious. He says that Chamu tricked him into leaving his fingerprints on the bag. Wang Hongli wonders how Chamu managed to time the police raid so perfectly. The lawyer explains that Chamu didn't place all his bets on a single plan. He planted contraband in multiple locations and reported all of them to the police. That way, he ensured that Wang Hongli would inevitably fall into one of the traps. The lawyer continues explaining Chamu's flawless plan. He points out that contraband had been planted everywhere, even in Wang Hongli's car. Wang Hongli insists that he is innocent. He wonders whether he is really going to take the blame for something he never did. Meanwhile, things are becoming increasingly chaotic at his company. The lawyer reassures him and promises that he will make sure he is not convicted. At that moment, the lawyer receives a phone call. He informs Wang Hongli that his daughter has disappeared and has been kidnapped. On the other side of the call, his wife is crying hysterically because their daughter cannot be found anywhere. Hearing this news, Wang Hongli's hope completely shatters. Meanwhile, Gang Hui calls the brother. He tells him that his plan to take over Hongqin Group is progressing smoothly. He adds that Wang Hongli's wife, Chazhua, could become an obstacle. But he says that he will handle her. The brother coldly tells him not to worry about it. He says that within a few days, she will disappear as well. Gang Hui is shocked. He realizes that the brother is planning to eliminate her too. After that, Gang Hui meets with one of his men. He asks what the investigation has uncovered. The man tells him about a mysterious organization called the Heaven Society. He hints that the brother may have connections to that organization. Gang Hui orders his man to investigate the organization and uncover the truth. The brother returns to the cellar. There, Wang Yuhong is begging him for mercy. She complains about the darkness, the insects, and the rats. Mocking her, the brother says that this is only the trailer. The real show hasn't even started yet. Then he asks what his sister did wrong to deserve such torture. He asks whether being poor and shy is a crime. Wang Yuhong admits her mistakes. Then she begs him for a single sip of water. The brother agrees to her request. But on one condition. She must confess all of her crimes on camera. Driven by thirst and despair, Wang Yuhong begins confessing. She states her name. Then she explains that she was Chen Lan's classmate. She says that she isn't a human being but absolute trash. She confesses that she abused her wealth and power. Together with Zhang Kai, Gao Si, and Feng Yu, she constantly bullied Chen Lan. Then she confesses the details of the night of the crime. She explains that they lured Chen Lan to an isolated place. When the victim said that her brother would return soon and protect her, they became blinded by rage. Zhang Kai repeatedly stepped on her. Then everyone else joined in. After that, Zhang Kai suggested dumping the body in the trash because they were confident that their family's influence would cover up the crime. She confesses that everything that happened was her fault. After recording the confession, Wang Yuhong bangs on the cellar door. She demands that the brother give her the water he promised. Half an hour later, the brother returns. He says that he never breaks his promises. Then, while she is tied up, he pours boiling water on her. As she screams, he mockingly makes fun of her. At that same moment, Gang Hui is watching Hongqin Group's stock price crash on a screen. A victorious smile appears on his face. Control of the company is now within his reach. In her office, Chazhua notices the company's stock price falling sharply. She realizes that someone is taking advantage of the situation. Furious, she calls the culprit a scumbag who is exploiting the crisis for personal gain. That evening, she calls the lawyer. She asks when her husband, Wang Hongli, will be released from prison. The lawyer tells her that it isn't that complicated. A few documents are all that's needed, and he should be out within a few days. During the call, a video clip suddenly pops up on her phone. She watches the video and sees her daughter, Wang Yuhong, kneeling in a filthy cellar. She is confessing her crimes and saying that she isn't human but absolute trash. Chazhua is filled with shock and rage. She immediately calls the police. She tells them that her daughter has sent a confession video. She insists that Chamu forced her to make it. She demands that the police act immediately and rescue her daughter. But on the other side, the female officer tells her to stay calm. She explains that before taking any action, they must verify the evidence. Chazhua completely loses control in her rage. She starts screaming at the officer. Then she threatens that her daughter's life is more valuable than all of their lives combined, and if anything happens to her daughter, they will all pay with their lives. Chazhua completely loses her patience. She decides that from now on, she will take matters into her own hands. She gathers a mob of her men. Then she orders them to go to the Chen family's house, destroy it, and force them to hand over her daughter. The convoy sets off in several black cars. On the way, she calls her lawyer. She tells him about her plan and demands that he be ready to defend them at any cost because she is determined to destroy the Chen family. But she has absolutely no idea that the man driving her car is none other than Shamu himself. Shamu has already removed her original driver. He casually asks her how she would feel if her daughter got hurt. Chazhua turns around in fear. That is when Shamu reveals his identity. He tells her that he is Chaelan's brother. Then he smirks sarcastically and says, "Welcome to hell, you and your daughter." He drives the car at a completely insane speed. The speed goes beyond 180 kilometers per hour, and the bodyguards' vehicles are left far behind. The guards think the driver has simply gone crazy, and they can't catch up to him. They decide to head straight to the destination and wait for him there. They swear that once he arrives, they'll teach the driver a lesson. Brother takes Chazhua to that same old cellar. He throws her onto the ground. Her daughter is shocked when she sees her mother there. She asks why she came. Chaz Sua regains consciousness. She looks at her daughter, who is lying there in a filthy state, with eyes full of disgust. Crying, the daughter begs her mother. She says she has already confessed everything, but her mother pushes her away. She says that their lives are worth more than anyone else's. Chaz Sua stands up and faces Shamu. She tries to settle the matter through conversation. She brushes everything off as nothing more than a small fight between kids. Then she offers money to end the matter. Brother coldly rejects her offer. He tells both of them that now he will make them feel the same pain that his sister felt. Then he presents them with a false path to survival. He says that only one of the two can leave alive. Shamu leaves Chaz Sua and her daughter Wang Yuhong inside the cellar. He says that now the two of them must decide who will survive. Otherwise, he will kill them both. The daughter starts screaming. She begs her mother to choose her because she is still young. She reminds her mother that she has already lived her life. She promises that she will visit her grave and spend money on her funeral rites. Enraged, the mother slaps her daughter. She scolds her for being selfish and ungrateful. Then the mother turns toward brother. She tries to put all the blame on her daughter. She says that even as a mother, she cannot control every single thing her daughter does. She tells Shamu that he can kill her if he wants. But in her attempt to save her own life, she cuts ties with her own daughter. She calls her the shame of her life and says that she can always have another child. Chinmu gives a mocking smile. He watches the two of them fall apart and turn against each other. Then he drops a knife onto the ground and leaves. He leaves the mother and daughter to continue their fight until it reaches its bloody conclusion. Half an hour later, Wang Yuhong is crying uncontrollably. She says that she didn't kill her mother on purpose. Brother opens the cellar door. He tells her that she has played her part well and can now stay alive. But how much time she has left depends entirely on her behavior. As brother starts to leave, she begs him. She asks him to please remove her mother's corpse from the cellar because she is terrified. But Shamu completely ignores her plea. Then he locks the door. In prison, Wang Hongli receives a video. In the video, his wife and daughter are shown fighting each other to the death. He freezes in shock and disbelief. He immediately demands to meet his lawyer. He tries to call his wife, but her phone is switched off. Then he realizes that the video has already been deleted. He calls his lawyer. He demands to be released from prison at any cost because his family is in grave danger. Meanwhile, Zhang Zhongshan and the other bullies' parents learn about Chaz Sua's disappearance. They realize that Shamu is behind it and finally understand that they had seriously underestimated him. They decide that confronting him directly would not be a good idea. Zhang Zhongshan suggests settling the matter through negotiation and offering an enormous amount of money to put an end to all of this. Zhang Zhongshan sends one of his men to talk to Shamu. The man meets brother. He offers a settlement and asks brother to show a little mercy. He places a 4 million contract in front of him. Chinmu coldly asks if he has a sister. When the man says no, brother tells him that then he can never understand the pain he is going through. The man tries to threaten Chenu. He reminds him of Zhong's power and influence. But brother smashes a teapot over his head. Then he drives a hard kick into his back. Chaos erupts throughout the cafe. Brother tells the man that he's lucky he has nothing to do with this case. Otherwise, he would have sent him to his death as well. Then he leaves the place. The man is left lying on the floor, covered in blood. When this news reaches the bully's parents, they realize that brother is not after money. He only wants blood. They decide that they have no choice left but to use dirty methods, because nothing straightforward is going to work on him. Feng Long suggests that brother needs to be removed permanently. He says that he knows a powerful gang boss in another province who can handle this kind of job. Everyone agrees with the plan. They say they are willing to pay whatever amount is necessary to get rid of brother. Feng Long contacts the gangster. The gangster demands 3 million, with half of the payment required up front. The parents agree and immediately transfer 1.5 million. Meanwhile, in the cellar, Wang Yuhong keeps begging non-stop. She tells brother that she now understands her mistake. Then she asks him for something to eat because she feels like she is starving to death. Shamu coldly replies that a person can survive for 7 days without food and water, and only 3 days have passed so far. Then, with a mocking tone, he hints that food is already there with her. He is pointing toward her mother's corpse. He says that desperation can make people do anything. Then he tells her that this game of hell has only just begun. A little later, brother receives a phone call. The man on the other end introduces himself as Brother Chen. He says that he is a gang leader whom everyone respects.